Hey guys, it's Mindie and welcome back to another art video. So I just want to say welcome October and to our challenge Inktober, which I will be attempting this year, and I will try to complete it this year by using the prompts, of course, and I have kind of twisted the challenge in a way that is manageable for me, and some days I have followed prompts and some day I don't. If you want to see all my Inktober drawings, you can feel free to go check out my Instagram. My username is in the end card if you guys want to go check that out. I post all of my Inktober drawings on there, so there's that. And for today's video, I'm actually following a prompt, and the prompt for today is guarded, and I think it's such a good prompt for the story that I'm going to be telling you guys about. I'm going to be telling you guys some spooky stories that I've heard personally around in my own neighborhood, and I have no idea how much of that is true, but I am going to be telling you guys, so maybe you guys can get like a little spoopy atmosphere leading up to Halloween. So there is. So the first story that I wanted to tell you guys about is relatively short, and it's been going around my neighborhood for a good while now, but it gone up to the point where it doesn't really creep me out anymore, and I can tell you guys about it. So there's some things you need to know about my neighborhood is that there are these tiny like huts scattered around the neighborhood in each corner, so the night guards would just get up on their bicycles and just kind of stroll around the neighborhood just to make sure everything was safe. And there was this one particular night where I think happened a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was 10 years ago, but my mom said otherwise and other people said otherwise, but I actually have no idea how long ago it was. All I know is that I was still in this neighborhood by then. I was probably really little, like about 7 or 5, I'm not sure. But they say that this man who was in the little hut right next to my house, well, it's not technically next to my house, but if you walk further for like about 3 minutes, you would see the hut. And people say that the guy who had the night shift on that hut, or in that hut, had died due to a heart attack, and nobody heard of it. Nobody saw him, nobody knew about it until the next morning, I'm pretty sure, and his body was just there. And it kind of creeped me out, the thinking that I've rode my bicycle just past that hut many times, and to think seeing a dead man in there creeps me out just sometimes. And yeah, that's the first story. I don't know if you guys understand that. I'm sorry if I'm a little stuttery telling you guys stories because I'm not good at telling stories. So there's that. So for the picture itself though, I wanted to keep it as close to the actual hut in real life as possible, and I think I nailed it that because this hut looks really close to the actual one in real life. There's this huge tree right next to it and this wall behind it, and I really like how it turned out. But I also did this weird new technique that I never tried before, is that this light casting over it. I tried that. I don't know if it looks good, but I think it looks okay for my first try. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Yeah, overall I really like this picture. It really does tell somewhat of a story, you know, but you can interpret the story any way you want. But I really like how completed this piece looks. It looks just like it came out of a book or something, and I really like that. Okay, so for our next story, this one is actually a little bit creepier than the last one. The first time I heard it, I was covered in chills, like, yeah. And this story dated back, I'm pretty sure it was about 6 to 7 years ago. I'm not actually sure, but I remember it was years ago. And so what happened is that there's this family of 6, and I don't know who they were. I don't remember seeing them in the neighborhood, because in my neighborhood we kind of just known each other, you know, like even though it's a huge neighborhood we would still know each other's faces. But for these 6 people, I don't actually know them. And presumably they died during a plane crash on their way to some other country. And I have no idea how much of this is true, but this story was brought forward to me by a guard that I know in my neighborhood, and he said that every night they would see them as a family is just sitting on the porch in front of their house, or their fence, I guess. And he said it so chillingly that it seemed like he have seen it so many times that he wasn't even scared by it anymore, and that what creeps me out a little bit. And just his tone was so chill, like, oh yeah, I've seen them so many times, they don't creep me out anymore. And just the thought of that kind of creeps me out. Like, if you walk around the house and you see these kind of like 6 people just sitting in front of their house, and I'm pretty sure by now their house is just boarded up, like nobody lived in it anymore. I'm pretty sure it's abandoned, but I've never actually seen the house itself. This picture was kind of like an interpret of what I think the house actually looks like, but all I know is that it's decaying, it's covered in plants. This one isn't really covered in plants, it's more of rotting and just decaying. But I really think the story is creepy, the way that the guard put how chillingly he is. So there's that. And hey, look, I draw a building for the first time and it didn't mess up, yay! And I'm not trying to make fun of this family in any way. I pay huge respects to them, and I hope they're in a better place now. And like I said before, this story is more of a sad story than a scary one, because it's just like the family is sitting in front of their house kind of guarding their own treasure. And I don't actually know what happens to the house right now, but I'm pretty sure it's still standing in my village somewhere, and I don't dare to go near it because I'm actually scared. And my dad actually joked about it many times, like, hey, do you want to go to the haunted house? And I'm like, no. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it, and as always, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.